A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the press. This is the press conference for the movie Coco Gone. A very good afternoon. Please welcome once again Kunal Khemu, Saif Ali Khan, and Pooja Gupta. Thank you. We're going to start with the question answer sessions straight away. So please raise your hand and introduce yourself with your question. Ria, please.
Hi, good evening to all of you. Welcome to Dubai. My first question is to Kunal. Kunal, we've heard Saif telling in various interviews that you came up with this concept term. When and how and why did you come up with this concept?
Actually, Rajan DK, who directed the film with me called 99, which was their first TV film. And we've known each other for a long time, and post Shore in the City, their second film, we wanted to do a film together. And initially we wanted to do a crime comedy based in Goa. We wanted to do like a slacker film. And at some point, Raj called me from the States, and he was the one who said, like, why don't we do a zombie film? And I was immediately sold. But what I realized was, because we had seen films like that, and because I knew their, how good directors they are, and they had faith in me, we kind of formed a team and we started writing the script. But the reaction from the other side of the other production teams that we met wasn't so positive, because I think it was a huge risk, because nobody had done it before. Most of the people didn't even know what we were talking about, so they actually said, Ki, what is a zombie? We don't know what a zombie is. And that's why we put that line in the trailer where he says, Ki India mein bhoot pret hote hain, zombies kahan se aa gaye? And I remember when I met Bhai and his partner Dinesh also, and when I mentioned it, the initial reaction was also pretty similar, because they laughed and they said, really? Why don't you do a zombie film? And it was a script actually at the end of the day, which when they read, they kind of came on board and they believed in it. And I think we couldn't have asked for a better production house, because I think with a concept like this, which is so new, you need a production house that can produce it well and then market it well and give it that standing where there is an awareness about a film like this and people actually come and watch the film.
Saif, you kill dead people. I like the way you said that in the movie though. So what I wanted to ask you is, as in Hollywood, when you make these kind of movies, the audience accepts it with complete wholeheartedly. It's always a hit out there. But when Bollywood tries to ape Hollywood kind of movies this way, it's always criticized. I mean, do you think the audience in India now are ready for this kind of a movie, a zombie kind of a movie?
Yes. Yes, I do think so. I think we are ready for this kind of film. There is a multiplex audience that was niche that has now become quite mainstream, that would expect quality cinema from us on par with the rest of the world, not just Hollywood. I think there is a demand for different genres of films, and I think as long as you're careful about the budget, you have to understand that India is slightly schizophrenic in its growth and development. There are some areas that want new and interesting things, and there are some areas that are still rural and really simple that would like things a little more black and white. So if we can cater to both as a production house, I'd be excited. But a succinct answer to your question is yes, I do feel so. And the response that we got on the internet and the press in the various countries that we've been to talk about this film has been really encouraging about the fact that it is new as a concept. So that is heartening that people are willing to accept even the attempt. I mean, it's not released yet, but people have already been quite encouraging. So I think it's the right time.
Perfect. Pooja, hi. Hi. How does it feel working with the zombies? It's the second movie that you're doing. And how does it feel?
I'm lucky that I have, I've got such a good banner, and I have Saif sir and Kunal and Mir and everybody. It feels great, and to be part of something which is completely new. It's a new genre and everything. I never thought I would be part of zombie film, but it feels good, and I really hope it does well too.
Hello.
We have you doing this movie, and then we have Brad Pitt is coming out with the zombie movie as well.
Yeah.
So would you say zombies are a step up from vampires and werewolves? And and the other thing is that people often appreciate your performance in Serious Avatar. So
I forget to
would you say that accept you?
Wait, hang on. It's a big question, the first one.
Okay.
So what was it? It's what?
I said people
practice-
have moved on from vampires and werewolves to zombies.
Well, I think, the zombie is relatively a new story in literature. I mean, if you can call it literature. I don't know if there's been any zombie literature, whereas the vampire has been part of Gothic literature from when Abraham Stoker wrote it, and God knows when, And same with Frankenstein and monsters with Mary Shelley wrote, but nobody's written the zombie's traditionally been a B-grade kind of cult following its had, And somebody's been asking me why we haven't made a zombie film in India before, and I didn't really have a good answer for it in England. But I've been thinking about it for the last couple of days, and I think a possible answer could be that it is quite a celebration of a slacker mentality. I mean, like people in, American cinema has celebrated mediocrity quite often, maybe because they have the confidence to do that. Whereas in our cinema, we generally don't. We celebrate, heroism like Ram. Like godlike heroism, really, it's obviously a social difference between, the two countries. So a zombie is like a perfect slacker kind of a device for a horror movie as well, because it's the ultimate idiot, he really is brain dead, and if you sometimes shoot them and hit them over the head, they don't feel any pain, so it lends itself quite well to comedy also. But recently, I think with Will Smith and Brad Pitt's movies, with global disease becoming such a frightening phenomenon and fallout of some kind of nuclear reaction and viruses of this way, then it's an interesting idea to make a massive horror kind of thriller. Whereas our film is a comedy.
Thank you. Your final performances have been appreciated in sort of a more serious role. So would you say that people, this movie looks so different? Do you feel the audience will accept you in this sort of role?
I hope so. I think, like I said, I think there is quite a wide audience for this sort of thing. It's quite a funny movie. I think it's a very funny movie. When I read the script, I thought it was very amusing. And the humor is not limited to your needing to accept the concept of zombies or it's not that alien. In fact, the concept of it works really well in a way because they go to Goa to this party. This film is primarily about these two boys, played by Kunal and Veer Das. So Veer is love, and he's this wonderfully lovely guy who wants to get his life organized, and he's sort of comically earnest. And as life would have it, his girlfriend is a sort of cheating harlot. And Kunal, whose name is Hardik in the film, which I hope internationally can be mispronounced beautifully, is more of a Casanova and a ladies' man. So the two of them having sort of, they don't enjoy their jobs, they don't enjoy anything except like smoking and watching television. So they end up going to Goa for whatever reason, and they go to this party where eventually everybody becomes a zombie, and they're all kind of foreign to them anyway. So it just, it somehow works that people who take drugs in Goa end up becoming zombies. So in that sense, it's a tiny bit of a message, because we've celebrated so many negative things in the film. We had to, I said, somewhere justify and say that drugs are bad.
We have one more question. Please introduce yourself first.
Hi sir, hi Kunal, hi Pooja. My name is Mir Tufel. I'm from Channel 5. I have a question to you, sir. Your mom was against the language you used in the movie.
No, that was just a joke that I made on stage. She's actually, my mother is very progressive, and when she was on the censor board also, she was, I think, a very good censor. But yes, if I show her a trailer where, my character is saying, "Ha, Delhi se hu, BC," she's not going to be like, "Great, I'm so proud," And if she says, "Oh, I love the idea of zombie movies and bad language and drugs," I'd be really worried, because she is my mother, and I think that generation somewhere should be traditional, and it's our job to sometimes do a little things for our generation, which is, there's quite a lot of counterculture happening in India because we have such a burgeoning sense of culture, like you're telling me, right? But in India, it's more than anywhere else in the world. Don't use bad namaste and touch your elders' feet, which is great. But actually, the rest of the world is moving on pretty fast in, the MTV generation, whatever you want to call it. Counterculture is there, so they also need something to cater to them. So I think it's pretty harmless. It's good fun. There's one or two gullies in the film. It's not like
But it's fun actually watching.
But I hope you think so. You're almost my mom's age.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more